Hey everyone, this is Derek, or Leica 101, and I apologize for the low lighting, but it's a little later on in the day, and I'm getting ready to head out on vacation for a couple of weeks, and I realized I had not yet made a video for one of my subscribers who had asked me a very important question, Mega Monster Cookies, and he's asked me a couple questions before, and I've responded with videos, and I'm not going to stop now, so let's get right into what his question was. He has asked the important and often forgotten about subject of relationships in role-playing games, specifically for his characters, the subject of marriage. One of his characters plans on getting married, and he wanted to know my thoughts on the subject. So, first things first, Mega Monster. Why does the player want to get married? Is this been an encounter with a random NPC, or has this been a reoccurring NPC? Is this a quest object that just has kind of like cropped up this way that, hey, you have to get married to this person in order for something to go along, or something of that nature? If this has been a reoccurring NPC and there's a relationship that has formed and you feel it's appropriate for the NPC to accept a marriage proposal, then I would continue with your thought process and let the characters get married. However, you're going to approach a unique situation, and that is after the wedding, what happens to the spouse and the player? Is the spouse going to come along on the adventuring party? Is she going to be a new NPC group member? Are you going to roll up a stat block for her adventuring character? Is she a rogue, maybe? Is she a ranger? Does she fit one of those kind of archetypes? If so, she can fit a niche that your party is lacking. If your party doesn't have a rogue, if your party doesn't have a healer, if you're in a nature setting and there's no druid, if she happens to be one of those, she can fill the criteria and be an additional member of the party that can help out in times of great need. And that's all well and good, but that's assuming the NPC is another adventuring member. And just to quickly touch on something else, if she is an adventuring member, she would be lower level. Say they're level 5, she'd be level 3 because she doesn't have as much experience. Just wanted to touch on that real quick. But what if she's not a ranger or druid or one of those kind of classes? What if she's just an NPC, a farmer's daughter or something? She can't necessarily come on adventures. She has no skills at surviving what you as an adventuring party go through. You're left with a unique situation and problem. Is she going to stay behind at her whatever her village is, even though she's just married? And is this going to sit well with the family that her family, I should say, the father, mother, brother, sister, aunts, uncles, whatever? Is that going to sit well with them? Is your player going to gallivant off and continue his adventuring? Is he going to stay home? Is this marriage going to lock him down in this village and he's now stuck there? These are important questions you have to ask yourself and come up with answers to. If she's just a regular old NPC, and it all comes back to why does the player want to get married? So the next part comes up is the next question: how does the rest of the party feel about this? Do they feel that it's going to bog down the sessions? Is it just something that's going to happen and get forgotten about? Just say, oh yeah, my character's married, but I never see my wife because I'm always adventuring. You know, is it just something that's for flavor and that they want to have happen? What if it doesn't work out and a couple of players, wind up having a fallout because of it, and it ruins the experience for everyone, and maybe even causes an end to the campaign? So that's something you have to be conscious of, is this marriage isn't just affecting one person's character, it's going to affect the entire group. So I guess this kind of covers what are the pros and cons or the benefits of getting to this, of having this marriage. On the other hand, though, if you do allow the marriage and it works out and you figure out a way that you can make it work, even if the wife winds up staying home, the husband goes out adventuring, and they come back to that village every few months or something. There are classic story elements in history and literature where that has actually occurred throughout history. So it's not to say that that doesn't happen or can't happen within a campaign. What this would allow for is new story elements, adventures, and plots centered around the spouse. Take, for example, your party has a reoccurring enemy. The reoccurring enemy learns that the player has gotten married. Reoccurring enemy then finds a way to go into town, sneak around, kidnap the wife, and rescue her, and capture her and send her somewhere where then the entire party now has a brand new adventure to try to get the wife back. That's an automatic quest hook, automatic buy-in, brand new adventure you can come up with that can lead to a bunch of other things. The wife could be, or the entire village could come under attack, automatic buy-in to go protect the village. So there's a lot of story elements that you can draw from having your character get married. And this is, I'm discussing this because I want you to see both the pros and the cons of having a marriage. So, if you do decide to go through with the wedding, I want to make one major point, and I really hope you'll do this. Role play the wedding out. Have the other characters be part of the ceremony if they want to be. Make it an elaborate thing. The entire village is there. Everyone wants to see it. It's something that would be memorable and provides more of a reason for the character to remember having a wife and really being there, and make it something worthwhile. By doing that, what you're really going to do is make it not only memorable, but it gives it more of that realistic reason to have this whole experience happen in the first place. And lastly, I think you mentioned you wanted the character might consider having a family, like an extended family, children. Children, you have to remember, it's going to have to be, I'm assuming you said it was a human, so regular gestation period for a woman, 9 months. What happens to that woman during the 9 months of pregnancy? Where is the husband, the spouse, the player? What are they doing? How do they know that they come back and it's just, oh, you randomly have a child? Make it significant. Remember that all of this wedding and family and building up this relationship is going to make more work for you, but will provide a sense of realism to your world that, yes, relationships do occur. Yes, this happens. And I can see possibly why you brought up this question to me, is considering nowadays lots of video games involve relationship choices. I can think back all the way, I think my first experience with one was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox, where you could wind up having quote-unquote relationship with a female character Bastila, or can't remember if you were a female character and you wind up having other relationship with one of the male characters, can't remember his name. But anyway, it has evolved, and there are relationships in stories such as Dragon Age, Mass Effect, etc. Relationships are a natural part of life, so therefore, why shouldn't it be the same concept in a role-playing game, which is just a reality, a mental reality, if you will, a mental fantasy reality, I guess you could say. So yes, relationships will happen. But you have to, the one thing I want you to remember from taking away from this video and regarding relationships is, will it break the game? Yes or no? Where will the spouse be? Will she be coming along, or will she be staying at home? How will this affect the player? How will this affect the group? So I think that's going to be my time on this one. I'm just going to stop right here. Hopefully I've answered enough of your questions about having a relationship, and making it a worthwhile experience for the player. And if you decide to go through with it, my deepest congratulations to the happy couple, the bride and groom. May they have a happy, long life together, and hopefully she doesn't get kidnapped by evil monsters or enemies. So thanks for the question, Mega Monster Cookies. Hope this answered your questions. See you guys in a couple weeks.